Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm a little nervous. I haven't done this before. But I would love to share my story because I feel it will inspire a lot of people. And I want to bring out more than just the software. Yeah, I want to show that ERPNext, the whole open source nature of this whole uh, software is very important. And I would like to communicate that through my story. My name is Vivek Digambernath. I'm an Indian. I'm just like most of the people, most out here, from a very middle class family in India, who finished his engineering like maybe 6, 7 years back, and was looking for a career. I was certified in SAP. I was certified in SAP, and as I was not really good at kissing ass, if I would say, I could never land a job in any of these corporates where SAP was used. And out of desperation, if I may, I encountered with ERPNext, open source solutions. When I had nothing to lose, all that I had was a big mouth to talk to people and hope to get a job, a project. And what happened in that attempt was I did manage a small micro company, a small micro business, where this person offered me an opportunity to actually deploy a small system. And at that point of time, I didn't even know there was something called ERPNext. It was like I had like almost 2 weeks to deploy a whole full-fledged ERP system, and I didn't even know what a balance sheet was. But that's when Mr. Richard Branson came to my rescue, and he inspired me. He said, just grab an opportunity. Never let go of any opportunity. Grab it. It doesn't matter you're white, black, doesn't matter. Go grab it. If someone is ready to give you work, go grab it and figure it out later how to finish it. We can finish it, and that is what I'm trying to point out. ERPNext as a tool is so simple. It's so simple compared to I've been trained officially in SAP as a developer. Compared to developing in SAP and developing ERPNext, it's amazing. It's so simple. It's so intuitive, and that is what maybe I would like to point out with my discussion. Try to bring attention to. Anyone can do it. You don't need to be a big organization. I and my good friend Mr. Bibin, we've been running an ERP company for almost 4 years in UAE. We are not a typical service provider company. We are more of a consultant. We are consultants. We are experts. We go into a company, we help them adopt. We train their team in-house. We do not want to be engaging with these companies long time. We want to go in there. We want to convince them this is the best way to go. We can build up your own team. You don't need to depend on another company ever again if you have in-house talent. That is the sort of service we've been providing for the almost past 4 years. And I'm not saying when we started off, we knew how an ERP implementation would go about. We had absolutely no clue. Like I said, I didn't even know what a balance sheet was, and over time, over the past 4 years, we have done over 30 plus implementations. And today we are in a very good position to take up SME to enterprise level clients, because we understand from our very own hands-on experience. No one had to tell us anything. We were free to design our own methods of delivery. We didn't have to read about it or learn about it or be part of any huge organization. With ERPNext, we could do it. If I can do it and my friend over there can do it, you guys can definitely do it. Anyway, I would like to bring attention to something more important apart from ERPNext is the nature of open source. And I would like to bring, again, using a story. While I was traveling down from Dubai to Mumbai, it was a sheer coincidence that it happened. It just happened like 2-3 days back. it was sheer coincidence that I happened to be sharing my seat with this two Colombian brothers who's been flying from Colombia all the way there, going to China to attend this another open source conference for Bitcoins. Who all have heard of Bitcoins here? Okay. Bitcoins is again a very, it's an open source technology. It is an enabling technology which is changing the very way you transact money. Okay. And a good example these Colombian brothers was telling me was how it is enabling Venezuela. If you guys have heard of Venezuela, they are going through a big financial crisis over there. Their currency is being devaluated. They're not able to buy the same bread for 10 pesos. Now they have to pay some 200, 300 pesos. So what an open source technology like Bitcoin was helping these people was to preserve their value. Yeah, their local currency was getting devaluated, but with the use of open source technology like Bitcoins, they were able to preserve, and they were not losing that value. The people were more in power than the government over there with this technology. And I was telling, oh my God, I'm going to an open source conference over here in Mumbai, and we are all about trying to help businesses perform more efficiently. And he was like, oh my God, maybe we could join these two things together and the Venezuelans would have a great time. And I was like, yeah, this is my card. And he shared his card with me. And the very next day, I came down to Mumbai to meet Rushabh, and I just speak. I was not registered for the DevCon here. So I spoke to him and he said, let's go back to the office and let's all get together. And I saw so many wonderful people over there, all from all over the world. And I was amazed. Like, all these people are trying to use this software to solve local problems. Yeah, and it was very inspiring. But as Rushabh pointed out, I'm a little saddened by the fact that we Indians are not so into it as much as the people outside. There's a lot of attention coming to this project from the people outside. Anyway, it's very great to see all this happening at this time currently in our world. I seriously feel our world is changing for the better, and projects like ERPNext, like Bitcoins, all these projects will come together and help mankind solve issues, real issues. That is about open source. But let me come back to my story about how I got involved in ERPNext. As I told you, out of desperation, we started selling, consulting more in ERPNext. And we realized, like, there is nothing called a market. You are free to create your own market. If you are able to generate value, yeah, if you are able to generate value that another person can see and is willing to pay for it, it doesn't matter you have a business plan. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter as long as you are able to deliver. That is what Mr. Steve Jobs said. It doesn't matter how many attempts you have made. It only matters in the end what is delivered. Yeah, and that is exactly what I felt, or I share with my 4 years of experience working with ERPNext, is that it is so simple, and we are able to deliver to our clients in what we call a KISS fashion. Keep it simple and stupid. The only form of interaction my clients have with me is either me or Mr. Bibin. We completely do the functional side, the technical side. Like, I'm the sole person that they'll come and talk to me, and I'm able to deliver them technically all technical information. At the same time, I'm able to provide them functional information, which came to me through experience and seeing numerous businesses all around. I'm able to pick and tell them, okay, I saw these kind of things working out there. Maybe you guys should try this, and it brings a lot of confidence into the clients to work with such people who is able to, like, we call ourselves piranhas. If there is sharks in the industry, we call ourselves piranhas, because we are as effective. So What I'm trying to say is this market, KISS market, was never there to begin with. There was no one in UAE or in Dubai uh, trying to sell something like what we were doing. For us, keeping it simple was very important. We try and avoid anything and everything that we feel is not required in between us and the client. Another thing I would like to bring attention to is how we were able to start off with KISS, because as it is an open source product, we had never any issue about capital. Like I said, I'm from a middle class family. There was no one to support my business. I had to start as a freelancer, make my way up, making my own money. All this was not possible if it wasn't for Rushabh and team, the entire community who contributed to make this awesome product, which I was able to take and service for people who really wanted it. And I am really thankful for all of you guys who I haven't met in person for this. So like I was saying, one of the biggest things was ERPNext sells itself in the KISS market. For people like me, we didn't need to have any sort of investment. I didn't need to sign up in any form of partnership. I didn't need to have any sort of official training. All the training I got was like Ekalavya. You know, if you guys know the story of Ekalavya. He used to hide behind a tree and watch Mr. Drona teach Arjun, you know, and he was as good as Arjun, in the sense that all the information we need is on the internet. If you have the will, if you have the guts to take action, you can do pretty much anything. You don't need a team. All the team is here. Mr. Rishabh and the whole community is my team. You know, what these people make is what I go sell, you know, what I go and give it off to my customers. It's nothing more fancy than that. I don't do much customizations. Almost 90% of the customization is already dealt with, you know. And like someone earlier was sharing, the remaining 10% is we don't even need to code. You know, at least that is the kind of market that I focus on. I'm not saying all the clients are the same. I'm just saying that if you are willing, you can create a market for yourself in this industry. It's up to you to find. It's up to you to generate your own value, and it's up to you to find your own clients. That if you are able to generate value, you will find your own customer. This is the guy who actually inspired me to come here. He is Mr. Thomas Kurian, president of product from Oracle. So this talk I was watching while having breakfast and deploying an instance to one of my clients. I was watching this on YouTube Live. This happened in April 2016, if I'm right. It was the launch of Oracle Cloud World, blah, 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 blah. So this was an hour-long talk with all the kinds of bling-blings all around the stage, with fanciful presentations and talks and all that stuff. And these are some of the key words that stuck to my head. That is, it's like Facebook, one integrated suite, customer experience platform, blah, 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 blah. And I was like thinking to myself, oh my God, I've been doing this for the past 2 years from 2014. Exactly what this guy was saying, you know, is everything is on the cloud, everything is so integrated, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what is he saying? You know, I've been doing the same thing using DigitalOcean, Droplets with Frappe platform and ERPNext for the past 2 years. And I'm thinking to myself, these guys are like, you know, packaging simplicity, ingenuity, and making a fool out of trying to get us to buy all these things for such huge values. when I'm assuming to myself, I would be maybe selling, or because I genuinely feel ERPNext is a very strong product. Like there's been people from SAP UAE who've seen this product and they secretly come and tell me, man, I think I should quit SAP and join you guys. This is not, this is the truth. But that's what I want to bring attention to the whole community. We have something big here, and it's huge. And I hope you all realize if we stick together, there is so much we can accomplish here. So much. I believe we can seriously get together and hustle with the big sharks. When I say big sharks, I mean Oracle and SAP. So yeah, this is one of the major reasons why we are getting a lot of attention these days. There is big opportunity in the market right now, especially because of the current financial situation around the world. No one, especially I noticed this in UAE and many of the Gulf regions. No one is willing to spend money on a $75,000 or $100,000 or $200,000 SAP or Oracle project. No one. No one wants to renew their license. Everyone is trying to hold on to their financial assets as of now, because the markets are not very nice, at least in the UAE, at least in the Middle East, and everyone is trying to save money. And this is where we strike. This is where we can win, because our offerings are like, I don't know, 10%, 20%, 30%. It's up to you guys to write your value on the contract. But we can compete, and so many of these young new CEOs, they're really tech savvy. They understand open source. They understand open source is way better than closed source software. They understand the longevity of the software for their organization. They understand that this thing can be updated. They understand that this thing can be in tune with the current technology, because we can upgrade it. We can make it better day by day. And there is a huge number of people looking into open source technology. And like someone earlier said, and which I personally believe myself, there is only two real open source, not real, I mean, sort of open source projects. Is one is Odoo and one is ERPNext. And I feel ERPNext is the really true open source product, and which is why I'm really committed to this, because I like the idea that this is going to be forever open, and I'm really waiting for the foundation to come up, because through the foundation there is so much to be achieved. So as I put down some points out here, like the cost of ownership is less. There's more tech savvy CEOs out there who understands open source. I often term ERPNext not just as an ERP. I like to call it as an information system, because ERP is sort of deceiving, in the sense, like, using Frappe, you can completely digitize an organization's workflow, not just the finance, or not just the CRM part, or not just the stock, your entire organization. So hence I would like to call ERPNext or Frappe, or both of them together, to be a little more than just another ERP. Like, pretty much everything you can handle, the whole portal system. I mean, there is so much. I don't want to get too technical, because there are the others who are better at it. Yes, so this is what I believe we are, or we should realize ourselves to be. We are like piranhas, like, my company might be one of these small piranhas, one of you guys will be another piranha. And why again I'm specifically using the term piranha is because the school of piranhas is strong. They can stand up to the sharks, or compete up to them, or maybe create an entire different market and take away a lot of their market shares. So to grow, we need to hold hands, like Mr. Rushabh was saying, and a few of the people who had come earlier here were saying, like, to grow, we need to come together. We need to share. We need to share knowledge. We need to share the code. We need to, because again, like as I was discussing with Rushabh, he was saying, like, software it doesn't make sense. Software only needs to be written once. It doesn't make, and once it is written, once a good piece of software is written, you just have to copy. There is no cost to it. Why incur cost again? Just get the guy to do something else better. And I'm able to relate to that. I'm not sure how all share the same view, which is fine. But what I feel is it's important for all of us to come together, because in unity there is strength. In unity, we can stand up to bigger, larger organizations who put out softwares, which I feel is counterintuitive, if I may again. And another thing I would like to point out here is that we are not trying to create. We are not trying to compete for a market. We are trying to create a new market here. open source software for maybe enterprise or open source software for SMEs. We're not trying to compete here. We're trying to create a new market. I'm not able to articulate it maybe this time, but for sure in the future with more experience I'll be able to share my view more clearly. The future. One thing I clearly feel our community needs is an open source mobile app, a dedicated open source mobile app. I'm sure one of you companies will come up and take that responsibility of starting open source client for the Frappe system. I feel it's very important because if there are native apps, we are going to replace a whole end of devices, which are used by the people on the ground, field staff. We will effectively replace a whole lot of devices with more efficient. Of course, we know our ERP is efficient, so it really makes sense that if someone can come up with an open source mobile app. Chatbots is the next big thing. I feel personally that a lot of automation is going to happen in the sales front and the customer service front using chatbots. I'm sure they had launched something called Vidya. If you've been working on. So it was nice to see that there was some attention shown to Vidya. Vidya is like an AI chatbot which could automate a lot of customer service and sales stuff. Another thing I hope to see is like ERPNext being introduced into schools and colleges to be taught like a tool like Microsoft Office. Again, there was some talks we had about it being implemented in Kerala being one of the southern states in India, and it would be nice to see government taking an initiative and trying to bring the software into schools and colleges. Because I'm someone, why I say this is because I'm someone who learned about business flow, business process more from the software. Initially, as an engineer, I was able to learn this from a software about the general business flow, then hands-on. Like I can imagine, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 2-3 years down the line, deploying an ERP instance. Imagine what could be the possibility, maybe 5-6 years down the line. Children are doing such crazy stuff. Already kids are very tech savvy, And it's a tool for every startup. There is no say against that. Like, there's so many people I'm aware, like who is using ERPNext as a tool for startup. Even myself, my company uses ERPNext ourselves, and it has helped us a lot. It helps us with our own automation a lot, and I'm sure we will see this being used a lot more all around. And finally, I like to end this talk with Mr. Chamath. Chamath is like, again, I'm a big fan of him. He's a CEO of a big venture capitalist firm called Social Capital, and this was one of his talks on May or something in Launchfest in the US. So his real line is a little offensive. So it's actually really offensive because it's directly pointing out at corporates and saying that how inefficient they are. How really bloody inefficient they are. They are sort of big bottlenecks to the progress of humanity in the name of money and other sorts of monetization. And so I'm paraphrasing that line, and I'm just telling you that eventually, today or tomorrow or maybe 5 years down, we are going to replace inefficient organizations. We are going to replace them with more open and enabling organizations which don't form a bottleneck to humanity's progress. And with that thought, I would like to end this talk.